everybody.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I am Janae Strother.
I'm Sean Spencer.
Back.
We are back.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta go out and hold up.
Come on. The lion. The lion. New man losing so fine. Kirk Cousins.
All right. I am Janae Strother.
I am Sean Spencer.
And this is Let's Talk Football.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. You know what day it is. Hump Day! Washington Football Weekly is back again, and I'm with my guy over here that, hey, Will, you're not the only one that's dealing with hot weather. We got up to 80 today, my friend.
Hey,
yes, sir.
All
Short
right.
sleeves and shorts, baby.
Nice.
Finally.
Spring is here.
Right now, I'm too hot. Like, bring back the cold, man. Bring back the cold. My guy from South Carolina, Will Kramer. What up, Will?
Oh, man, what's going on? It's been a couple weeks. We've had a chance to think of all of our thoughts. Happy to be back, to be talking. I almost said Skins. Be talking Commanders.
I was thinking about it. It's hard. Like, I wrote up in, the little bio for the show, we're here to talk all the news and notes of the Washington Commanders.
I know.
You said it best earlier when we were talking with Ab about it. You were like, it's lazy. I mean, you get why it is, but it's just kind of like Commanders. It doesn't evoke fear. Like, it doesn't. Redskins. We are coming.
Right.
All right. I digress. I
know.
gotta get off that. Yes, sir, man. So, how are you, man? Are you good? Everything cool?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Today's a big day here in Columbia.
Oh, okay.
They had a parade.
Hey.
I'm sorry, I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but they had a parade for the national champion women's basketball team today. Yeah. So that's a big deal. I ain't trying to rub it in your face.
Congratulations.
I'm not trying to go there. I'm trying to go the fact that I love it that they are celebrating the team. I've said before down here, it's football, which the spring game is this Saturday, so football's big.
Oh, yeah.
Then we go baseball, and the baseball team's struggling again. And then it really is women's basketball. That's not normal. That's not the case everywhere. So the fact that they're giving them a parade down to the State House, they're going to have everything that's happening today. I think it's awesome. I wish I could have been there. That's when my kids eat and then have bath time. So that doesn't work with my schedule.
Okay.
But I was there 4 or 5 years ago when they won the first one. So I think it's a big deal. And I think this is a big deal because here's my thought. Here's my theory. Is Nathan paying attention? Where is he?
Right. I'm about to see him here right now.
All right. Say, hey, Will's about to talk to you, Nathan.
Right.
So my theory is the torch in women's basketball got passed.
Yeah.
That Sunday night. It went from Gino to Dawn. And what impressed me about this championship was she assembled, this is her second championship. She assembled this squad and she got these women from all over the place. When they won their first one, Asia Wilson was a homegrown talent. Yeah. She grew up here in Columbia. It was like, she didn't have to go to South Carolina, but you weren't pulling the number one player in the nation to come here. She was already here. She stayed home. When with Aaliyah Boston and some of the other freshmen that she got, this was, retooling. This was North Carolina-esque.
Let's go.
What this was.
Yes, sir.
This is letting that senior class go through, and you bring in a whole new set of players. And the scary thing is, I didn't realize this because I don't follow the team so much, but at one point in the second quarter, Connecticut shrunk the lead. Dawn had her freshman in. She was like, let these girls grow a little bit and play. Wow. And then when it got to about 4, she said, put in her starters,
Right.
stretch the lead again. You know, it's like she was in control the whole time. So hats off to her. She's been an amazing coach here. She's done big things for the community. So yeah, I mean, I love to see the praise that they're getting because they deserve it.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Most definitely. And hey, like you said, hats off to her. Got her second title. And I completely agree. I think it was a passing of the torch. And I love that she was able to do it. And I love the most Aaliyah Boston, who we all know from a year ago. There's a picture of her missing the shot and just immediately the emotions breaking down. And everybody has been watching that. And then to have that picture, and I hate that I don't have it right here, but that smile was just, there was so much. It was all, the monkey is off my back. Nobody's talking about me. This is what it's all about. We got our title. I loved it. Defensive player of the year, best player in the country. Man, well-deserved. Well-deserved South Carolina, man.
Yeah, it's fun times. Fun times down here.
Yes. A little bit north of South Carolina. North Carolina. Congrats on going to the national championship game. Congrats on getting there, guys. We were not as fortunate. We lost in the national championship game to Kansas, 72-69. Our big man, Armando Bacot, one of the wheels fell off towards the very end. They gave it all they had, but, you know, our guys weren't shooting. I think between Armando Bacot, like RJ Davis and Caleb Love, they were like 13 of 52. You know, RJ Davis 0 for 5 from 3. Caleb Love 1 of 8 from 3. We were good early, and you know, we fell off. We ran out of gas.
I was gonna say, do you think the win on Saturday played a part? Do you think the team, like, not to say that was a bigger game, but do you think they ran out of steam because of as much that they had to bring in on Saturday, or no?
First, I'll say this: there's just certain things that happen, and that's the end of it. I think does he not slip and fall? Does he not hurt his ankle? I think he actually gets the 5th foul on McCormick. McCormick X's. I think he gets 2 shots. I think the whole thing is different. I think that was just the issue with that. But there is a thought that what the first game did for us, where we beat him at Cameron Indoor in his last time there, how that propelled us to that run was also the end at that victory. When we finally slay the giant, and a lot of people, they even talked about it that night. They were talking about, you know, the emotion, doing it not once but twice, ending the career of, you know, one of the greatest coaches of all time. Is that going to be a momentum thing? Look, I can't really fully subscribe to that because we were up 40-25 at halftime.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, the second half, they had a run immediately. They came out, they pressured us. That's been an issue for us in the tournament. So it came down to the wire, but we had a shot to win it. We did not get it done. Hats off to Kansas. I'm not going to take anything away from them, but it hurts.
Oh,
it
yeah.
hurts.
So you want to know an interesting stat that I read? Guess in 2020, the year that the tournament didn't happen, guess who was number 1 in men's and number 1 in women's?
Who?
Kansas and South Carolina.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Don Staley had a quote, and oh man, I forgot it. But it's something about it's something along the lines of, like, you know, what is destined, you know, will not be denied.
Yes.
And she was basically just saying that, you know, like, we knew we had the team to win this in 2020, and it just came in 2022. It's like, and then when I heard that Kansas was number 1 in the men's side going in on the tournament that didn't happen, I was like, that's kind of poetic.
Right. Exactly. And I love that it happened. And honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. Look,
28-3 still hurts.
Right. Shout out to Anthony Handy.
It better hurt.
Yeah. Maybe it's a new day. Matt Ryan, he's no longer with you. Got Marcus Mariota. Hopefully.
Yeah. You all let yep. We're undefeated in championships too. That's right. That was a good line. You might want to let it. I'm pretty sure it's Anthony. You know, your World Series champions just lost the series to the, I think, last place Nats today. They just beat them. You know, it's all happening right down in Atlanta, so I get to hear all the chatter.
Right. Okay. Watch out. Hey, baseball season is here. You see what's on the shirt. My Orioles.
Oh, man.
My O's.
Great memories. I
Got a
love that
W,
shirt.
man. Yes.
Great
yes.
memories of us going to Camden Yards.
Yes, sir.
Getting cheap seats. And
Yep.
Yep. I remember I told the story to Trisha where, I would walk into the bathroom, grab someone's empty, walk out and go up to one of the salesmen and go, hey, another.
Right.
Here.
Yes, man. Yo, that was the war room. We went over there, we hung out, we chilled, we talked life, we enjoyed the tickets, the cheap seats,
I know.
Man, that was a good time of life, man.
Always fun trips to Camden Yards.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Look, it's all good. We started low last year too. Yep.
They did. August is when they turned it around. Yeah.
So we didn't make it, but hey, big news today. Armando Bacot is coming back. So that's one of the 5. We're hoping RJ Davis, Leaky Black, Caleb Love, those guys come back. If we could bring 4 out of the 5 back, Brady Manick he's exhausted all of his eligibility. Yeah,
good.
My guy, Red Jesus, man, I love that guy. It was the headband too, man. I was keeping it together. It was amazing.
Yeah, he did.
It was amazing. But yeah, so hey, let's go. We'll see. We hopefully next year, in fact, I guarantee next year we'll be back. Watch. Let's go. But hey, and real quick, I do want to say something. Somebody just put it in the comments. Listen, for those of you who don't know, April 13th is me and my baby, Miss Catherine Hughes, our 8-year anniversary. Ooh, do you know what today is? It's our anniversary. Do you know what today is? It's our anniversary for you and me. Yeah.
I sure hope you sung that to her and not just me.
Oh, yeah. It's not to you. I will sing to you, man, but not right now. It's not to you. This is my babe, 8 years, and has been absolutely amazing. We've traveled all the way across the country. I love her dearly. She's a diehard Michigan State fan. That's her connection to Kirk Cousins. That's why she loves him so.
She got on TV with that.
Oh yes, she definitely did. Actually, as a matter of fact, talking about good old Kirk. Yeah.
He's such a hero, and I look at him as someone that not only is he a great player, but he's a great person. So getting to see him interact with fans, getting to see just the person he is, that was probably my favorite.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. And we went to he was doing an autograph signing at like a PetSmart or something like that. And we ended up going over there to see, and she met him and everything like that. So listen, Catherine Hughes is the most amazing person. I mean, she absolutely, the patience, the heart, the kindness, the joy, the she has truly enriched my life, opened me up to so many different things. So Catherine, I love you. Happy 8-year anniversary. You are my princess, my precious buttercup. And thank you for allowing me to do the show, because without you, I would be in my car. All right. To be honest about it. All right.
Congratulations to you both, and many, many years of happiness to get ahead of you.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it. Thank you, sir. So we have got to move on. Cat saying, well, thank you, Sean. Oh, look at that. What's going on, Anton?
How
you doing, buddy? Yeah, buddy.
Why don't you put the next one up? You don't want to put the next comment up?
Oh my goodness.
Nope.
Why? I don't like that. I don't like that. You like that? No, I don't like that. Yo, congrats to you guys both.
Awesome.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. Appreciate it. So listen, we have got to move on, ladies and gentlemen. And we go from that to a little bit of a somber note. Ladies and gentlemen, Saturday morning, we found out some crushing news. Former Washington Redskin quarterback Dwayne Haskins passed away. And it hit everybody very hard. I know in our household, we were going back and forth trying to figure out like what happened. Why was he on the highway? Like what's going on? What was your first thought when you heard it, Will?
Shock. It was, I first thought, well, what was he doing in Florida? And then I remembered, you know what? The Steelers were gathering to practice. That Trubisky was organizing practice down there. So I'm like, oh my gosh, he was down there with his teammates. Yeah. But just absolute shock.
It's I don't know, man. It was rough. When I heard that, I was just like, really?
Yeah.
And immediately, obviously, when something like that happens, you immediately go back to anything that you might have said ill about that person or any criticism you might have had of that. And I was one that jumped on him really hard, especially once all that stuff about the strip club, the mask, and this and that. And it to me, we take this team seriously.
Yeah.
And at that time, I just didn't feel like he was taking it seriously. He was doing better. He was in Pittsburgh in the right place under Tomlin. Mr. Trubisky and them brought him out there. He was well liked. He was hanging out with Claypool, hanging out with Najee Harris. You just never want to see this happen. So, do you like to say something, my dear?
No, I think it's awful.
Yes. Yeah. We were pretty broke up about it. We just, I never did want to see anything like this happen. But when it's somebody that you've kind of followed through, watched them Ohio State, watched them in the NFL, watched them, and to be 20, he'll be 25 in May.
Right. I think about his family. I think about his dad, who he was close with. They started, they were business partners as well. And to think that is the scariest phone call a parent can ever get. And that is a parent's biggest fear. And to think that they got this phone call saying something's happened to your son and the worst thing possible has happened to your son. That is what I feel so bad for that family and what they're dealing with now. He was really close with his sister. And so she's lost her, her brother. That's so hard. And then I was really surprised to see I shouldn't say surprised. That's the wrong word. I thought it was interesting to see all the outpouring from teammates and people that knew him. And just like you said, how well liked he was. Because, there was some struggles in DC. And this wasn't the situation for success. And he actually admitted it. He said when he was in DC, he was too distracted, being at home. So that wasn't a recipe for success for him. But there were players, I expected to hear the stuff from Terry. I expected to hear the stuff from Chase Claypool, the guys that knew him. But what surprised me was I saw stuff from kids that he grew up with. Carl Anthony Towns posted a picture of them as this was before teenagers, and it's like he was an elite prospect. He was a phenom. As a young kid, and you just kind of forget how all these kids know each other from going to camps and crossing over in sports and stuff, and these athletes are more connected than we even realize it.
Right.
So that was surprising me too, like you said, to see how many people, enjoyed being around him, the impact that he had. As professional football fans, we wanted to see more, but the impact of his life, albeit short, was still something that you can be proud of, as difficult as it is for the family to move forward.
Yeah. So no parent should have to bury their children not like that. No, completely agree. And I mean, it makes you go back and look at certain situations that you got all hot and bothered about differently. We go back to that time when he was doing the selfies after the end of the game, and you look, now you're just like, this is a kid. Yeah. He's won, he's led to his first victory. This is exciting for him. You know what I mean? And it just stinks. Life's too short. So definitely prayers to the family, prayers to his wife. Just got married, I believe, like a year ago.
Yeah.
So prayers to her and the grieving family, and we know he's in a better place, and did do a little quick something just to. Oh no, we care.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
R.I.P. man. R.I.P. Let's get it. So we are going to move on, ladies and gentlemen. There are a lot of news and notes going on in Washington, but seems to be this guy's right. This guy's favorite thing is stealing the headlines. Mr. Dan Snyder again is back in the news for this reason or that, but this could be it. This could be the big one. Will Dan Snyder, has he finally gone too far?
I think so.
Let's go.
And I think someone's out to get him. And they are coming with receipts. Yeah. Last week it was the ticket revenue scamming from other owners. This week it's the bombshell dropped by Congress or that committee. Yeah, I think this is going to do him in. I really do. Yeah. What do you think?
I am hoping for the best. Yeah. One of the things that, like you said, this now is with ticket scamming. This is the revenue. This is money. This is finances. And as we know, there's one thing that with these huge corporations, especially in the NFL, you don't play with is their money. You can do all that stuff with sexual harassment, and nobody bats an eye. But with money, it's an issue. It's not a perfect world, ladies and gentlemen. But the thing about it is, this is the time where they need to act. The guy that I said, or that they said came out, was a guy that had worked for 20 some odd years, like 24 years or something like that. You know what I mean? And he had each thing, like they were hiding things and renaming them as other things, and money going to different places. This has to be it. This has to be it. Mm-hmm. But can we be pessimistic? I mean, should we be pessimistic? This is not 100%. Nothing's 100%.
It's not. This time, though, we do have some receipts, just like you talked about. This came from the vice president of sales, of ticket sales. Everything else that's happened before, it has been, like you said, he's never been directly implicated. There's been allegations, but this time he is directly involved. They're a little bit of the ticket revenue, not sharing the same books with the other NFL owners. Sorry, I can't talk. You're right. Like, you don't mess with billionaires and millionaires' money. Like you said, they don't care about the sexual harassments. No. The NFL owners don't. They don't like it, but they don't care about it. But you just kept money from coming in my pocket. Now we got a problem with you, is what's going to happen. And the NFL, they have to be going after this, because what they did with this and the season ticket deposits, that's fraud. Mm-hmm. Like if you're not gonna get rid of an owner for fraud, what is it? What are you going to get rid of an owner for? Do they have to die? Is that the only way that we're going to not have owners? Is that the precedent we're going down?
That's where they're getting to.
So this one's kind of interesting, because this started under Jack Kent Cook. All right, where this is coming from, the new stuff. So when the Redskins built Jack Kent Cook Stadium, they made season ticket holders sign a 10-year lease. And remember, this is back in the day where if you and I wanted to go to a game, we had to know someone who didn't want to go that week. Yeah. There was no free marketplace to say, like, I feel like going to the Skins game this Sunday. Let's go. Right. All right. So Cook made them sign for these 10-year leases for your season tickets. You had to put down a deposit. What Washington has been doing is they haven't been returning these deposits. So if after your 10-year lease, you guys say, okay, I'm not interested anymore, 15 years later, you should be getting your money back. That's the purpose of a deposit. All right. They have been holding that money and
Wow.
putting it into a different account. Like you mentioned, when they were moving things around, they were calling that account Juice. All right. And so like now we have receipts and actual like Snyder involved in this, because Snyder became the owner in 99.
Yeah.
So these didn't start happening until 2005 is when they started become coming live. Now, some of this, the guy mentioned, is natural. You have a corporation, an office that signs up for season tickets. The person who signed up is no longer there, but the Redskins only had that person's email address. So when they try to contact them and they don't get a response, they go, well, money's ours. Okay. So some of that's natural, and they're not in trouble for that. But apparently he said every year Snyder and some other folks would come to him and say, they had like a code word, and they said like, okay, so who are the delinquents? Who are the ones who are season ticket holders? It's coming up and they're not attending games. Their tickets aren't getting scanned. Yeah. And that's when they would take the money early and put it into this other account and mark their account as being refunded. So like I said, he's got receipts finally. This could actually happen.
This could happen.
That's huge. The other one that they got in trouble for was the ticket revenue for non-NFL games. Okay. Having 2 books. So when they had Kenny Chesney concert, I was there. Yes. I remember that concert. So they would underreport their earnings. So the NFL owners didn't get some of that. The Navy Notre Dame game, they did that. So like they had 2 books. Like this has to be it, man. This has to be it.
This has to. You're absolutely right. And look, the evidence is right there in front of you. You know what I mean? Now, I agree with this. Anthony said, I think the reason the owners kind of remain quiet is because Danny Boy ain't the only one with skeletons.
That's exactly why. He knows where the bodies are buried.
Exactly.
And he will tell you where.
That's why he didn't get busted after the whole Gruden thing. You know, hey, Anton said, that's where the owners of the teams got to be the breaking point with league. I mean, hey, we need to start.
It's their wallet.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all they care about. They only care about their wallet.
Organization is cash strapped.
They ain't bringing enough revenue in right now for ticket sales. I can tell you that. And like this has got to be the problem with the league is they look and say, man, Washington, your ticket revenue is terrible. Why am I in Dallas funding you when I can bring in 90,000 people and you can't even bring 40?
Right.
You know,
that's the truth. That's the absolute truth. But look, hey. I would love to believe it. Now, like we said, we have the receipts now. It's all out there in front of us. Congress is involved. This, hopefully, it's going to happen. Now, my question is, we all know the move he made at the beginning of this year, where he made his wife part owner. If he gets cut out, and she still stays, do things change?
So that's
is that the escape plan? Like, yeah, take me out. She's still here. Business as usual.
The family's still running. I didn't even think about that. That could be an option. Like if they basically say you're out, but oh my gosh. Yeah. See, and this is without any evidence. My only thing is she's been married to him throughout these 20 years. She sleeps next to him every single night. You mean to tell me she doesn't know like some of this stuff, or she doesn't know my husband is a shady boy? And like, come on.
Yeah, she knows. Oh, she's got to know. And see, that's the other thing. She might be even worse than him because she might be playing the game, man. Like
I keep telling you, if you know the reference, House of Cards. Yeah. I mean, she is Claire Underwood, in my opinion. I'm just wondering. On the outset, she's this really nice person. But deep down, does she know all that's going on? I don't know. I'm speaking ill of someone I have no idea. So
right.
But it's just
that might eventually be in charge of our franchise. So hey, we're on your side. Let's go.
Get shut down by them.
Right. Now I will say this. Look, we have to ask this question: if he does, being pessimistic, play devil's advocate, if he does survive this. You might as well just call him Teflon Dan.
Yep. I'll give up. I'll stop. Yeah. I'll stop hoping. And, here's the other thing. I used to be embarrassed when the name right here on my shirt was in the news for stuff like this. I'm no longer embarrassed. No. I'm hopeful every single time. I'm excited when his name gets dragged in the mud again because I'm just so sick of him I'm so sick of this crap that this franchise has had.
Yep.
So it's like, and some of it obviously does go with the name change and all that, but it's like, I'm getting really, really apathetic. And my concern is I hope my apathy towards the team doesn't translate to the football side, because that's what's happened with a lot of fans, which is why, people talk about, Ab went to a couple games, you went to games, and it's like, how many visiting fans are around you? It's because we're done with this, So it's a weird feeling to be like, I don't care. I hope it takes him down.
Well, right. And that's the thing. I mean, and to your point about that, going to those games, we went to 2 last year, and both times, the Chargers game, it looked a sea of blue, and the Saints game, it was all black because of, all the Saints jerseys. And each time it was just a big grill, big party, big cookout. It wasn't, you don't have the home field advantage. You don't have our guys don't even care. Over by us, there was a fight. Like, nobody was even paying attention to the game that are supposed Washington fans. They got to do something to bring it back. A lot of people don't want to be associated with this nonsense.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And
look how the stadiums have been such a problem.
Right.
They don't want to be around him.
And I fear that if he is able to survive this, albeit slim chance, if he's able to survive it, like you said, I mean, you're turning to apathy. I'm to the point where I'm just like, I mean, it's gonna. I fear it's gonna drive a lot of people away.
Mm-hmm.
We've noted the games, we've talked about it. The fans are already in those fan groups, just attacking each other.
It's getting very toxic because people are so sick of all this. I mean, they just announced some new. I saw today that they hired some college student to head their like social media content, and people on Twitter just went after her, and it's like for stuff that she's not even a part of. She's got nothing to do with this. She just signed on the dotted line and got paid, and people are ripping her because it's a part of the organization. It's like we gotta rid ourselves of this.
Yeah, we absolutely have to. He said, "You fear it already has." Nope. Well, it's to a point.
Yeah.
Has it gotten to the point you see Dan Snyder on the headline and you click, hoping finally got the axe? Oh, absolutely.
Well, I'll say this though: it's just not going to be I don't think it's going to be a quick process. Because there is no way he's not going to go down without a fight for this.
Exactly.
He is going to sue. I mean, all he does is counter-sue everyone in everything that he's involved in. So it's going to be a slow process. It should be quick. It should be a quick thing. Literally, here are the receipts. Dan, you're out. By the NFL. But it's going to drag on.
So buckle your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be here for a while.
Yep.
So with that, we are going to move on to some of the things that are actually happening. It has been a quiet off season outside of the Carson Wentz move. There hasn't really been much going on. So I mean, we're going to touch on a couple of the recent.
We got football to talk about.
We got a couple things to talk about. A lot of looking into the future, but one thing that we did do that I'm very excited about, we were talking about it. We were worried about it 2 weeks ago. We were like, why hasn't it happened yet? Finally got it done. Re-signed Joey Slye to a 2-year deal. We talked about when he came in, didn't miss a kick for the team. I love what he has. Another one of the ex-Panthers coming over. Ron's boys. Let's go. He healthy, 2 years. How you feel about it?
Yeah, it's about time. I mean, what have we been doing this whole time? He was our best kicker that we've had in a long time, so let's keep him on board. So, I mean, finally. That's all I can say is finally.
Exactly. We needed it. And I'm glad we're able to secure that position. Now let him just get into training and get ready for the season. Sticking on special teams, however, we did lose the first real threat at kick return that we've had since Banks. Mr. DeAndre Carter goes to the LA Chargers. Good for him for being able, parlay this season into getting another place, but that stinks. because, I was really liking him at kick return. He didn't, he broke, the only one, but he still gave us that threat, and there was a couple times where it was a shoelace, one little trip up from him going. So I liked what he had. And towards the end of the year, when we had all the injured receivers, he ended up being a surprisingly good force at receiver for us down the stretch. So, this one kind of stings because this is one of the places that we have definitely talked about wide receiver. What do you think, Will?
Yeah, I don't really understand this one that much because the contract he signed in LA was not going to be that big of an upgrade from what he got last year. And I know we don't have a lot of money to play with for the rest of the in our cap, and we got to save some for rookies, but it's not like we were going to break the bank to sign this guy. Now, I think what it does is it shows, there is obviously in the whole league a de-emphasis on kick returners. The fact that he broke one for us was fantastic, but how many times are our teams starting at the 25, Right. And I think it's only a matter of time before that even gets eliminated because we're just wasting 30 seconds of time and, commercial time and all that because we're all starting on the 25.
I heard that they were talking about that. I heard that they
continue to. Yeah,
they were trying to maybe do that. I was like, they already started with it by pushing it up, like you said, so they're all touchbacks. But yeah, keep going. Sorry about
exactly. That. Yeah. So I think it could be an indication of that. But like you mentioned, you said it perfectly. He impressed me as a wide receiver way more than I thought than he would.
Yes.
And I start thinking like, all right, so we got a quarterback who can throw it. He's quick. Why wouldn't we have him in the fold and just see what if he's a deep play threat? What if he can help out a little bit more? So I am kind of surprised that they didn't go after him. I think this is an indication of what they think about their wide receiver depth or what they're going to do in the draft. I think they kind of felt like there's not going to be room for him on this team as an impact player at wide receiver. So we don't really need him to be a kick returner either. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, it stinks. Good for him. Glad he was able to, work this out, get himself a better position. But it definitely does open up a hole at that. But if what you're saying is true, and that's what it's looking like, there's becoming less and less of an emphasis on kick returner in the league. So, unless you're a Devin Hester at punt return as well,
right.
They don't really, you can't, they got the books. It's all about money, man. So, yeah, and it's interesting. We do this, but again, that's just two little small moves. Obviously, the draft is 2 weeks away, but, Ron is kind of, he's got to have some choice words about this, talking about free agency, talking about kind of what he is thinking to do and where he's looking at. What Will talk to us about that, man?
Yeah, so he had some kind of weird comments last week where he basically said, free agency actually starts after the draft. He said that's when we can really go look and sign some players and improve this team. And it didn't go over very well.
Right?
Do you have access to Anton's what?
Right. Oh, yeah. What? What?
It's so perfect. Yeah, free agency starts after the draft. What? Yeah. What did we even do with this last couple weeks? So one thing I think it's important to remember is Ron is our PR guy. We don't hear from the general manager. We don't hear from the owner. And so Ron is the guy who's trying to spin the positive news. And that's what he's doing here. He did it at the beginning of free agency by saying, hey, we're a destination for quarterbacks. We got good receivers. We got, young talent. We are a good place for a quarterback to try and get Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers. So it's a little bit of he's trying to control the narrative. But I also think he's also kind of talking about the fact that when we made that deal for Wentz, that changed our free agency plan.
Yes.
You and I were so excited for free agency. And then we laid a giant egg during it. What happened?
Like, all right, well, there it is.
Yeah. Everyone's signing people, and we're just kind of hanging out here.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of changed their philosophy. And, we do talk about the Charles Lenos, the Eric Flowers, who were signings after the draft. And there's been mention of us looking at Joe Hayden. And so I think he brings up a good point where at this point in free agency, you're best off waiting to see what you get in the draft, see who falls to you, to then know, okay, where are some of our holes? Where are our depth pieces? Where do we need guys who can come and play that we weren't able to fill in the draft? So I get what he's saying, but I would really like for him to remember that free agency starts in early March. This is your chance to improve the team. Right. Let's be a little bit more aggressive next year. Let's be a little more active.
Yeah, please. We need something to talk about, right? Let me go ahead and go there. We need something to talk about. This, he has really been silent outside of the one move. And I understand that Carson Wentz and taking on that, 28 mil, that did set us back. Certain things happen as a cause of that, as letting a couple guys go and this and that. But we come on, man. So, like you mentioned, Tyreek Hill, Juju Smith-Schuster, Mitch somewhere, Mitch Trubisky, all these different guys going all these different places, and we're just sitting here watching. Wagner goes, Von Miller goes, and we're just like, all right, some of those contracts we couldn't touch, but some of the others, like, come on, man, we could get these guys. So it's I get it. But being a fan, going back to what you said, I remember you said last 2 weeks ago, you said, I'm a fan. Forget about the paycheck. Pay them the daggone money and let's go. That's where I'm at. Because, at the end of the day, hey, okay, we're doing things fiscally with this and that. No, but you're right. It's not my money. So no, go ahead and pay. Let's go. Pay up. Get what you need to get. I'm not saying old Dan Snyder-ish, Hainsworth, Deion Sanders, Bruce Smith type stuff. But some of these guys that are like at their career, look, yeah. Anton saying, remember Hainsworth. Yeah. But some of these guys, they might be older, but you can get them on a 1-year deal like we talked about. Bring them in here, let them help the team, let them teach the guys, help the chemistry. These are things that you can do to keep us moving. But we talked about it 2 years ago. We had a quiet off season. We got two guys that we didn't think were big. We won it last year. Splashy moves, everything fell through. Let's see what happens this year.
Yeah. Well, and I started wondering, like, is Ron like, did we have buyer's remorse last year? Did we sign a couple guys, like say like they went out and got William Jackson III, and then all of a sudden the draft, they're like, oh dang, we could have gotten this corner instead, but we got William Jackson, so we can't go get him. Like I just started, I started speculating, like, oh well, maybe this is a reaction to what happened last year. I don't know. I'm not really sure.
Could be.
But I do have a thought behind this.
Okay.
I think I know why they're being stingy. All right. And I think they're trying to get guys cheap. It's because they're paying attention to their cap for the future. Yeah. All right. We're kind of talking a little bit about it. There's a lot of chatter about Terry McLaurin and how we're going to extend it. All right. Washington does have some very young guys who are getting on year 3, 4, and 5, and they're about to either need extensions or they're going to walk. And I think Ron and them have eyes on the next year or two and being able to have enough money to re-sign their own guys. Deron Payne right now this is his last year. It's also Terry McLaurin's last year. Yeah. So we've got 2 starters there that are big contributors that we probably want to keep at least one of them. And so I know they need to hold on to some of their cap space. But the year after that, you've got Montez Sweat coming off the books and Antonio Gibson, because the beauty of drafting well, which we have in the 3rd round, which we've gotten a Gibson, we've gotten a McLaurin, we got a Benjamin St-Juste, is you only get them for 4 years on that rookie contract. Yeah. Whereas with that 1st round pick, you can get that 5-year deal. So we've got some players that are coming up here for the future. And I think they're trying to load up because after Sweat and Gibson, you've got Chase Young and I believe Cam Curl, who they value, along with, St-Juste will be coming after that, which maybe he develops, maybe Diami develops, who knows, so it's like one of these things where I think they're looking to the future as to why he's trying to spin it to say, we need to sign guys cheap right now because we've got bigger signings in the future coming summer, next summer, after that, because let's think about this. If Terry McLaurin's going to get maybe close to $25 million a year. What is Chase Young going to get if he fulfills what we think he can be?
Right.
He's going to be $100 million player at least. And so you gotta build for that. Just as much as we got crushed this year in free agency with Carson Wentz's contract. If he sticks around, that's another close to 30 million. So I think that's what they're trying to do. They just don't want to say, hey guys, we got to be cheap because of this reason.
Oh, right. Shout out to Ab saying, what's good,
Ab?
fellas?
Nice. Hello.
What up, man? Anton saying, Rondell Moore. Yes, we remember that. We already gave you respect last time.
That was a couple weeks ago, buddy.
Right. Moving on. All right. He said, I'm with you, Will. They're really watching the cap. Yeah. I mean, like you said, Cam Curls next year, then you got Payne. Yeah. You got people you got to pay. All right. Ab says, cap savings don't matter if you aren't here to spend it. Ron Rivera is at a point in time where he needs to prove something. In my opinion, Ron Rivera is close to win now scenario. Huh? Yeah,
he is. I mean, year 3, he's mentioned it. This is the turning point. How much more of a longer leash? How many 7-win seasons can he have? No, he's right.
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely. Appreciate you, Ab. Hope all is well, my friend. Yeah, man. So this is gonna be quite interesting. Hey, and like you said, it's going to do something after the draft. Well, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that love this time of the year, draft is 2 weeks away. Will, did I tell you the calendar? I messed up on the calendar again.
Sean.
Yeah. I asked her this time. I said, Kat, I said, babe, what is the date when we're going to see? We're going to New Orleans. We're going to Jazz Fest. And I was like, what is the date? And she was like, it's in May. It's going to be around May. And I was like, all right, what is the dates for it? You you kind of told me. Long story short, we leave on the 27th that Wednesday. We get back on the 3rd. Yeah. So the 28th will be the draft. I will be in New Orleans. I'm going to charge my phone. I will have my phone watching and being a part of anything I can. But we were going to have a good time. I look forward to it, Pumpkin.
You know, I will say this. I've been to New Orleans. Yeah. There are worse places in this world to be for the NFL draft and to be on vacation. So I am jealous of where you're going to be.
There you go.
Very jealous. I
am excited. The more I think about it, the closer it gets, the more excited I get. And just to have that time off, man. I've been working, back and forth my schedule, between the 2 jobs for a long time. And I always work my vacation around my schedule. So I don't really have to take vacations. I really don't ever take vacation. So to have this, take a full week off, kind of still do some of the shows maybe, but just have my time, listen to some good jazz music for Jazz Fest in New Orleans. What?
Yeah. Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I'm with that. But I will not be able to sit down with the notepad and, with the phone and the computer, like going over draft picks, things of that nature. All good. I love it, babes. But I nonetheless will be tuning in, and I cannot wait to see what we do. And we're going to be diving into the draft from this point on, just kind of talking about, where we want to go. What are the positions that are most important to us? And we're going to go kind of like we did with the mock draft. We're going to go position by position. Do we think this is of importance? How important is it? Do we want to go to this with this at the 11th pick, or is this something that either we don't need or get farther down? And Will, I think we have to start with a position that we kind of filled, but I don't know. Are we still looking at quarterback? Well, what do you think, man?
Yeah. So Ron said we will have a rookie quarterback on this team. And right now we've got Carson and we've got Heineke. So we have a position that we have a hole there, right? Especially for training camp, you're going to need someone. So yeah, by all means, we do need a quarterback. I don't think it's much of a priority anymore. And you're kind of looking more towards that drafting you're looking at a Nate Sudfeld type player. Yeah. You draft him in the later rounds. This is someone you develop to be, his ceiling should be a backup. And I got somebody in mind for you, buddy. This is who I want to see. And I keep hearing that he may be sliding down is that right? Is right later in the draft, coming later in the draft. So I'm like, there's a chance. He's the former Badger, current Notre Dame quarterback. I want them to get Jack Cohn.
Yeah, I heard you talking about that.
Yeah, I think that he's someone that can develop. He's coming from a little bit, Wisconsin is more of that pro style type offense. I think he's someone that it'd be interesting. I think you're also looking at, I think it's Iowa State's quarterback. Is the last name Purdy, maybe?
Yeah.
There's also a guy, Ab would know who his name. The last name is, there it is, Zapp. There you go, Bailey Zapp. I think that could be the type of quarterback we're looking for. But yeah,
led the league in passing this year.
Did he? There you go.
Yeah.
What was he, like Cole Brennan?
Oh, he was throwing it. Western Kentucky. They
Nice.
they lit it up in the bowl game. It was like 28 to like something at halftime. I think they ended up scoring 60. He was lightning up through the air. Good call on that one, man.
Yeah. So I do think we're going to get a quarterback. I just don't, 11 is out. Yeah. I hope it's not second or third round. I don't think you can do that right now. I think we need to go all in on Carson and see what we got.
Oh yeah. I like that. Yeah, I'm with that. And like to your point that you had said a couple weeks ago, we don't want to bring somebody in that's going to get in Carson's head. If we already think Carson is kind of like, we got him on this chip on my shoulder, let's move forward. Don't bring somebody that's going to be a threat to him because, that doesn't work in that motivation type. So I agree. Let's get somebody later. I like Cohn. Zappy, I like as well. Another guy I've been watching for the last couple of years at Kent State, Dustin Crum. I like what he has. He had 4.7, 570, or 40 in the combine. I like him. I've watched him. I first started watching him. He was Kareem Hunt's last year. He was like a freshman or like a sophomore in that. So I've been watching him since then. If we're going later in the draft, because I agree, I'm finally letting it down. We're not going to get Howell unless he somehow falls to like the third or the fourth.
Right.
We're not getting him. So let's go for somebody that's kind of going to fit the system. And Crum is kind of like, he reminds me of Chase Daniel. Who's small. He's a little smaller guy, mobile, almost more accurate than I think a Heineke is. And I think somebody that can come in and run the offense. If Heineke can do it, I think he could do it. He's kind of similar, but in my opinion, he's a little bit better. But we'll see.
This is undrafted guy can do it.
We'll get it later on in the draft, so we shall see. Nice. But other than that, I don't really, unless something like that happens or Carson Strong falls to that fourth or fifth. This is not a position I'm really focused on because of obviously the Carson Wentz. Getting that acquisition.
Right. Anton said I stole his pick. Anton, you got to tell me who that is.
Who'd you steal?
I don't know. I don't know who I mentioned. Which one of the guys he's eyeing? Is it Jack Cohn?
Is it Jack? Is he a moral support guy?
Yeah, he's a leader. Big leader.
There you go. He's a locker room guy. There we go. Yo, let's move. Wait, let's see what he said. Oh, he agree with you guys. Yeah, buddy. Let's move on to the running back position that me and Ab know very, very well. Look, we talked about it before the show. I like Gibson. Love McKissick coming back. McKissick is a dual threat guy. Jarrett Patterson, I think, is a project, and if we can mold him next couple of years, I can see Darren Sproles. I want a 3-down back, and Gibson to me is a every other down back. Like he can do it. I like what he's got. I want to go for a guy like a Kenneth Walker. I'm not saying if he's in that second round, if we can pick him up in that second round, I think that's a steal. Kenneth Walker out of Michigan State was a monster this year. You know what I mean? Would you like to speak on it, Catherine? We can hear you in here, Kat.
That mic is live.
Right. He was a monster, getting 5 touchdowns against Michigan, playing his butt off. I really, he was just a tough, hard-nosed runner. I think he could be a 3-down back for us definitely something to kind of like a downhill runner, and that I think was something that will be really good for us. So I like that. Another guy that I've watched all year that I think with his size might be a little more of a like a Darren Sproles or a LaShawn McCoy, Shady McCoy, Breece Hall.
Oh yeah,
Breece Hall at Iowa State. Out of those guys, Iowa State, Purdy, Breece Hall, my guy Kohler at tight end. I'll talk about a little bit later. That offense was doing big things. Hutchinson at receiver, but Breece Hall was a monster. Scored a touchdown in I think a record number of games. At Iowa State, he broke a NCAA record, if I'm not mistaken. I actually go look that up, but I think he would be a great addition to our team. Again, not at 11, but definitely in a second round or potentially a third round if they are available. Now, Kenneth Walker, I think, might go earlier than that, but Breece Hall, I think, will be around for us. Another guy, I think, deeper down the line, Tyler Algier at a BYU. Very mobile, good hands out of the backfield. Played with Zach Wilson a year ago or 2 years ago when he was at BYU. I like what he's got. I'm interested to see how it translates into the NFL, but I think that's somebody that can get us going. Who are you looking at running back?
I like that pickup of BYU and his versatility. That's certainly something we should look up. So I'm with you where we do need to be looking for, I hate to say it, upgrade, but we need to push Gibson a little bit, because while he has the ability, he also is not showing that he can necessarily be that guy, for 3 downs and consistently. And he has major flashes where he's our workhorse, and then some other stuff where we keep seeing he gets tackled by shoestring tackles and stuff. We get all frustrated.
Yeah.
My question is, can we prioritize running back in the second round like that? I agree with you that we need to improve it, but can we do that? Or do we have other holes? And had we not signed J.D. McKissick, then I would say, yeah, actually we may want to, because we need to be looking at maybe we don't re-sign Gibson, we let him go. But I don't know when we're going to get that running back, Right. I do think that they're going to. I think they kind of recognize that. I do think there's been some snippets that they've gotten frustrated with Gibson too. The lack of seeing holes, the lack of breaking stuff that they've opened up for him. And so they're looking at, hey, we need a chance. I'm just trying to figure out how it fits within this roster, which is also why I really was shocked McKissick came back to the team. Right. It's like, you're not already featured as a running back and you're behind someone, so now he came back to be more part of this. Love the Breece Hall mention. Mm-hmm. Absolutely love that. If he's available somehow, if we can get him, I think that'd be a home run. I like a dude out of Florida, Damian Pierce. Yeah. He's from what I've heard is he's one of those guys where he didn't show in college what he can do in the pros, or maybe Florida didn't utilize him, well enough. And so I'm excited to see him. It'll be interesting, Kenneth Walker, because he's in town this week. Apparently we're bringing in the dude from Bama, Robinson, I think it is. Was it Brian Robinson is his name? Oh, Bijan Robinson. Yeah, he's coming in for a workout with the I almost said skin. All right. Yeah. So never dies. Right. So it'd be interesting. I certainly think this is a position they want to improve. I'm honestly just confused as to when, because I think we have other needs earlier. But yeah, I'd like to see us bring in some competition. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's Brian Robinson. And Brian Robinson. Yeah. He had a 4.3, 4.5 40. Really? So I liked it. Anthony saying Kenneth Brooks is a workhorse for OU. Okay. Yeah. James Cook, a good still small runner, can catch UGA guy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So definitely. Ab was saying I got Hall before Walker. I can see that, because Hall is more versatile. My opinion, he can catch out of the backfield as well as run up the middle. Algier could slide. It'd be a definite steal at 5th. I think if we can wait, because first and second pick I think are taken as far as more urgent needs, more immediate needs. But definitely if you go down to 4th or 5th, Algier I think will be there. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of these other top tier running backs
would be there. James Cook is one of them out of Georgia, you know?
Yeah.
They're more frustrated with his fumbles. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, everyone gets, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I mean, there's always, running backs that slide, and we're sitting here going, huh, what's going on here? So
right.
let's hope that happens this year to our advantage, because I don't think we have a third. I don't think we have a fifth. I don't think we have a sixth. So.
Right. Yeah, we need to figure this thing out, man. But Will, I'm gonna go ahead and come to you to a position that I know both of us have talked about a lot this offseason, even potentially thought about getting the 11th round pick at the wide receiver position. Will, we need it, man, and this is a deep wide receiver draft. Where are you thinking about going, and is it just one draft pick that we dedicate to wide receiver?
Interesting. I am so, this is the position I can't wait to see what we do with.
Yeah.
Because it's to me, to us, to fans, I think we are all clamoring for the number 11 pick to be a receiver. We want one of those two guys out of Ohio State. We were interested in Drake London. We're interested in Burks out of Arkansas, I believe. I hope the team's going that way. I don't know if they are. I'll be real honest with you. When at the 11th overall pick, now Ron did go to Ohio State's pro day, and the last couple times he's actually gone to a pro day was when he went to Auburn and drafted Cam Newton, when he went to Stanford and drafted Christian McCaffrey. So he doesn't go to pro days very often. He lets his general managers and scouts do that. So that tells me that he's got his eyes on some things there. So I think we could be leaning towards one of those Ohio State wide receivers. I think it would be good for us, to open up chances for Terry. I also I'll throw it out there. We hope that Terry resigns, but Terry, for business purposes, honestly should tell Washington, I'm not re-signing until I see what Carson Wentz is on the field and what this does for me. So I want him, but for the sake of this man's career, we'll see. So I'm so intrigued by this because I think they should tackle it early, but maybe they go later. I've mentioned this guy's name, Alec Pierce at Cincinnati. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
There's a couple other receivers that, like you said, this is a deep draft. Do we need to get him at 11 or can we wait to the second round? So I want to see improvement. And it needs to be a priority in my opinion. I just don't know when they're going to do it. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Yeah. Again, this is a place that I can definitely see going early. Anthony said, I'm seeing Mechie, Jameson, and Pickens going in the first round. Pickens, I don't know. Mechie and Jameson, I could see. I'm wondering how the injury was going to take effect to Jameson's draft stock.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to be one of those guys that goes to Green Bay at the end or Kansas City as a steal because they can let him heal and then deploy him in the second half of the season, and he's going to kill it. Oh, exactly. I don't know why I've seen Mechie slide second and third rounds. I was kind of surprised by that.
Right.
Did he get hurt?
No, I think he got hurt earlier in the year, but he played later through the season. So I
thought he'd be higher too, and I've seen him sliding. I don't know why.
So that's definitely very interesting. Oh, snap. What's up, Ash? How you doing? Oh, and it was your birthday this weekend. Happy birthday, Ash Winton, one of the hosts of Let's Talk Football Ladies Takeover and one of the hosts of Let's Talk Football in the Morning. She's got 2 shows out here.
Wow.
People saying happy birthday. Yeah. No, this is definitely a position that I am like you said, we're both very, very excited about. Obviously, you have the guys from Ohio State, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, who actually ran a 4.38 and a 4.39 in the 40. You know what I mean? Both of them kind of running off each other. And look, our number one goal needs to be, we need to help to get the pressure off Terry McLaurin. Mm-hmm. We saw last year they had the picture of Terry McLaurin on around the Raiders, and there's 5 people that are dedicated to him because they know that's the only threat that legitimate threat we have. We got to get him help out there. So getting one of those receivers, I love Pierce out of Cincinnati. I also love the guy out of Western Michigan, Sky Moore.
Yeah.
He's somebody that I think could fall into our laps, and I think it's something that definitely could benefit us because we need one of those guys in Western Michigan. We know who they had, Corey Davis.
Yeah.
He came from there. So they feed out good wide
rowing the boat.
receivers. Oh yeah,
with PJ Fleck. So if we're drafting receiver at 11, do you have one that you want?
Honestly, I go Garrett Wilson. Okay. If I'm going at 11, I'm going Garrett Wilson. His speed, he's a ball hawk. He goes up after the ball. He's a good route runner. I think he would be great for us, and it would be another one of those Ohio State guys. Our we might be the Commanders as a team. Our wide receiver core is turning into a Buckeyes. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but look, if they produce, I have no problem with that. Now Samuel has to be healthy, and then bring this guy in. I would have no problem with that. So yeah, that's where I'm going. Would you consider at 11, and who would you look for?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love for them to get someone like that at 11. I don't know, because it's like you said, the two guys from Ohio State represent, I think, a little bit more of the NFL, the speed game, But I also know that Carson Wentz loves his big receivers. He loves to throw those jump balls, so it's like, would that be good for him to have? So that's why I don't know. But I also love that idea that you mentioned, like, do we have to only get one? Could we be going after two? Do we find more ways to give him some weapons?
Yeah.
What is this Atlanta takeover on
right?
The stage
you see this? You see this? Sup, Dirty Bird? Oh, my dude, the bird season on the rise. Always a pleasure.
Jeez.
Raise up. Look.
Are y'all excited for Marcus Mariota? Baby. That's what I just need to know. Are you ready for Mariota season?
They ain't ready for the season of the A. Look.
My gosh.
Hey, producer Sean is coming out, man. Kyle Yacy, Anthony Handy, man. 2022. Do we have a little Birds in, a little Dirty Bird podcast? What we talking about, gentlemen? Set it up. Let's go. Look, he said, let me find out they drafting for volleyball. Look, need them big, man. Need them big. Look, yeah. So let's get into. He said, "I'm game." I like it.
Of course,
I like it. So let's move on to another somewhere where we have people in this position, but it's definitely somewhere where we can look at. We've talked about this tight end. This is a place I am very, very interested in. Two guys that I've been talking to you about them for months. Jalen Weidermeyer out of Texas A&M, Charlie Kohler out of Iowa State, both really big guys, a lot of speed, great hands. I mean, that's not, again, this is not a number 11. I'm not getting them at 11. I'm not getting them the second or third, but if they're in, the fourth round and they're sitting there, or the fifth, like I've seen in some mocks, we were talking about that, they fall that far or even farther. Yes, I definitely want to prioritize to get one of those. I think they can be potentially like a Jimmy Graham type where, they're tight end, but then also pressing wide receiver for how they can get up the field and their size. So I definitely like that, but it's not, if we don't get them, it's not going to be the end of the world. Logan Thomas, getting him back healthy, I'm definitely eager to see what he has to offer and if he can get back to that 2020 form. And I also, Bates definitely was a bright surprise that we had last year. And if he can continue with that, he's definitely a blocker and he's sure-handed, get out in the open. So I like what we have, but we did lose Ryan Seals-Jones. You know what I mean? Samus isn't panning out. Who knows what he'll be. I do think we could get one of these guys, and they could be kind of like a Pitts. What are you thinking about this one?
Yeah, I think tight end is and should be a priority for us. Logan Thomas is a great player when he's on the field, and I fully believe he's going to make his way back. But we also got to remember he tore his ACL late in the season. Yep. And the last thing we need him to do is to be trying to rush that back. I know ACL injuries have come so far and they've gone from being career ending to you can come back stronger, and these athletes are coming back, in 6 months time frame, which is kind of nuts. But we don't need him going all in for week one,
right?
And so therefore, if we don't have him at week one, what are we going to do? And so I think this should be a priority. Ron mentioned that we need to add some playmakers. And I think tight end could be one of them because, like you said, Bates is a good player. He's a solid player, but he ain't going to scare anybody. Right. So I'd like for him to find someone who can add a little bit of wiggle to that team. Now, I love my guy, Jake Ferguson out of Wisconsin.
Let's go.
I'm hoping he slides way down so we can go get him. And I hope maybe he's a little bit quicker than John Bates, but I know he's got real good hands. He's like Chris Cooley. He just catches everything when it gets to him. But I'd also be looking at some of our local boys. The Jelani Woods, I believe his name, out of UVA. He's like 6'7". He's a big dude. He reminds me of the Chargers tight end Donald Parham.
Yeah.
And then Virginia Tech has a tight end too. Name has escaped me, so I'm sorry I don't have it. But I'm with you. I think we need to prioritize this a little bit so that we are ready to help out Carson.
All right. Yeah, I think that's definitely something we need to focus on. Speaking of tight end, Jelani Woods was the second fastest tight end in the draft and the combine. You know who the first?
Who's the first one is, Sean? Tell me who the fastest tight end was.
Mr. Chig Okonkwo out of Maryland, 4.52 speed. Wow, that's pretty nice, man. Maryland's doing something out there.
He a Turk. Yeah,
it's good to see Maryland's doing something. All right, yeah. Let's get it. Yo, we need to move on to another big position. We've made a number of moves here. Last year, we definitely were able to capitalize in the draft, getting our boy from Texas. The question is, do we continue with that this year? There's a couple guys out there, Lindenbaum is something that we've talked about out of Iowa. Couple Alabama prospects potentially. Was it Rayshawn Green? I can't think of his name. I'll get back to it.
About coming up in the draft?
Yeah, coming up in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just a couple different guys. Who are you looking at? Is this a place that we need to focus on? I'm gonna look up that name real quick.
Okay, I do think we need to prioritize this because I think we need to be looking at who is going to take over for Wes Schweitzer after this season. To continue to go cheaper along the offensive line. This is where, while I would absolutely love if we get some stud receiver at 11, I also would be absolutely ecstatic if we traded back in the first round and had our chance at, I think his name's Kendrick Green, or was able to go after, someone in the second, or if we got a third round pick now, which we don't have, by trading back to prioritize an offensive lineman, a guard. We're going to go after guys with position flex. I mean, that is what Ron Rivera is all about. In fact, he's got that dude from Penn State. I think Rasheed Walker can play tackle, could go inside, could go outside. So wouldn't be surprised there. There's a couple guys that are in town this week that I wouldn't be surprised if they go after. Dude from Oklahoma, I believe, Marquise Hayes.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna put that up real quick.
Okay. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah. So don't be surprised if you see us draft Spencer Burford. I don't know much about him. I can't speak on him, but Ron's draft philosophy really has been he goes after the guys that he interviews, gets a chance to talk to, and brings in and stuff like that. So I wouldn't be surprised, but I do think we need to prioritize line earlier in the draft, somewhere in the middle, sometime to get some guys who could come in and start next year.
Yeah. I'm saying Dylan Parham is out there. We're gonna look at that one.
I'm not an expert on offensive linemen.
Yeah, I don't know.
Full honesty.
Yeah. So Spencer Buford, Abe Lucas out of Washington State, Luke Gadik out of Central Michigan. I mean, yeah, that is definitely a place that I definitely like. And as you know, if you follow Washington Football Weekly, I do not shy away from my offensive line. The more protection, the better, baby. The more protection, the better. Works in life too. Come on now. He was saying Parham for a later round pick. Yeah, I think this is definitely a place that we need to take a look at. That's what I was looking at over here. Just a couple guys. A guy that crossed my eye, and shout out to Dylan Walsh, the youngest reporter in the game, who was talking about him. Trevor Penning out of Northern Iowa.
Oh, yeah.
6'7", 325, just a physical freak, very raw. But if we can work him out and kind of get him in there like Cosme, that'd be somebody. But that's the only guy I've been really thinking about. And his size and his mobility is something I'm interested in. But yeah, I like my veteran O-lineman. Guys didn't know to do it.
I'm with you, man. And Northern Iowa, that corn-fed white boy. You can't go wrong with the Maulers down there.
They know how to play. They know how to play ball, man.
Yeah.
They know how to get it done. Let's go. Let's move on to the defensive line. We know who we have. We have Chase and Montez Sweat. We have our guys, Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen in the middle. At D-line, D-line, I'm coupling this in with D-tackle. There's obvious monsters out there, Big Baby Davis, and his counterpart out there at defensive end. There's big guys out there. Not sure we're going to get them early, but do we look at them early? There's a lot of guys in the draft. Where do you value defensive line in this draft?
Early? No.
Yeah.
I don't think we can. But we do need to bring in some depth because we've lost two of our rotational backups, along the defensive line. So absolutely. We need to get some type of D-tackle. And I don't have a name for you on that, but we need to get that. And we need to have what happened to Tim Settle happen again, where this guy is a potential second-round pick and he slides to the 5th round. That's what we need to get that. I saw they brought in on that list of people in town this week is Cam Thomas. We talked about him weeks ago. He was he really flashed at the Senior Bowl, and that goes with my theory. If you're from a small school and you show up at stuff and scouts start mentioning your name, that gets my attention because that's, it's one of those people, all right, well, this dude can play. He may not have played against people, but this dude can play. So again, we need to bring in some talent. It's just, I think this needs to be further down the draft.
Yeah. Kyle said another steal in the draft will be Nick Bonito, probably mid-second. He ran a 4.5 40 out of Oklahoma as an edge rusher, man. So
yeah,
that's definitely something.
Absolutely.
Wyatt is the other guy that was with Big Baby Davis over there in Georgia.
Oh yeah.
He's saying D-line early. I say no. Yeah, no, we were saying later on the draft. He said if you look early for someone online, it would be edge rusher. Right. Now, if a Big Baby Davis were at 11, would you entertain that?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Okay.
I think we got too much on that line right now. We got other holes. We can't do that. Yeah.
I like that. He said, with amazing D-line in the draft, it would be foolish not to look, in my opinion. There's lots of depth at wide receiver.
It's a good point. It's a very good point of going wide receiver after the first round. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's why I can't wait to see how that unfolds.
It's going to be very interesting. Very interesting. We next are going to go at I have outside linebacker here, but I was going to focus on inside.
Me too. I got my two. All
right, let's go. Let's go right ahead with it.
You go first. You've been passing to me earlier. You go first.
Now, look, at inside, obviously, this guy, you guys have been talking to me about him all off season out of Montana State, Mr. Troy Anderson.
Yes.
I didn't realize this man is a jet, man. He had a 4.4 40 at the combine. And I'm like, wait a minute. Let me go back and watch some Montana State football or something. This guy is quick. He's agile. Like, I'm eager, but I wonder, does somebody like this benefit from the combine, the Senior Bowl, all these games where we're now getting attention, and is he really that good? I mean, I like what I see out of him. Another guy, Christian Harris, I love 4.4. I love fast linebackers, guys that can get to the ball very quick. I talked to you about this other guy out of Wisconsin, my corn-fed boys, Mr. Leo Chanel. I like that.
Yeah.
Chanel, I like that. He's got 4.5. He went 4.5 in the 40. I like those quick guys that can come off the ball hawks going after things. I love that. So that's kind of where I'm wanting, because of the fact that we need somebody that's going to go sideline to sideline and be able to run. and be able to get going. I really like what these guys have to offer. And if we can get that, I would potentially go at 11 for this. If we get a top tier guy, now not look. I am thinking if we can get a top now. For that, I'm reserving that to Lloyd.
Okay,
you know what I mean. I'm reserving that to Lloyd. I don't even think Nakobe Dean is at that level right now for me. But this would be somewhere as far as the position that I would be focused. But I wouldn't again want to do it twice. But if Lloyd is there, it's like we'd be foolish not to. We've seen how he is, but this is something where we definitely need to take. Period. Inside linebacker is a spot. These guys are the guys I'm looking at. Who are your names? What are you thinking, Will?
Yeah, I mean, this is another one kind of like receiver that I'm curious. What does the team think versus what do we think? Yeah. Because we are prioritizing this, and we are also but we also prioritized it in free agency, and we did nothing. And we're prioritizing it because they said we need to improve linebacker. We need to get better at middle linebacker. Well, when are we going to get better at middle linebacker? So I'm intrigued to see if we go after this early, like you said, round 2. If we early trade back and get into round 3 somehow, is that what we can go after? I got my eyes on Anderson too, because it's the ability of if they can run, it's like, I don't want to get at that traditional middle linebacker that has to come off the field because, the game is changing. But if that person can run and cover, then maybe, maybe there's no more Cole Holcomb next year, as we mentioned. Who knows? The other guy is our dude from Wyoming, Chad Muma. I'm looking at these small school guys too to see when are they going to go and if we're going to go after them. But I'm very intrigued by this position and hope that we improve it.
Yeah, absolutely. Ab said inside linebacker, I would get a veteran for. He's the quarterback of the defense. At least should be. Yeah.
Is there any more veterans out? I haven't looked at the free agency yet. That's just a question. I'm not sure.
That's where we wanted to move up and be more aggressive and get a Wagner. So you can have him here and set the defense in place, and he being that leader. But unfortunately, it's not looking that way. But yeah, let us know if there's some free agents or somebody that we should be looking at, because it's looking like he's not going to be looking until after the draft.
Right.
Anthony said, bro, did you not see the season for him? Motor for days. Field general. Yeah, I know UGA bias, but no denying. If Big Baby and Wyatt were the anchors, Nakobe was the admiral piloting the ship. Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. And I'm not saying, if we were to trade back and get back to 17 or 22 or something like that, and he was there, absolutely, I would love to get him.
Yeah, that could come into play. Yeah, you're right.
Right. So I would absolutely love that. But if I'm sticking at 11, the only guy I think I'm going for right now is Greg Lloyd. Greg Lloyd. No, not Greg Lloyd. No, I'm thinking Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right.
Lloyd though, but yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching a video of them earlier. But yeah, that Lloyd is the only one that I'm getting for that early. He said, "Look, Will, there are plenty, bro."
I hope. Let's get somebody.
Let's see. Let's absolutely see. Yo, let's move on to our secondary cornerback. Where are you thinking? I got some guys that I'm looking at, but I'm interested in what your thoughts are, and then I'll lead on safety.
Yeah. So my only wonder is Ron went to Ohio State, and then he went to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Why is he going to the University of Cincinnati's pro day? Especially if they've got Carson Wentz. Are you looking at Desmond Ridder? Are you looking at any other players? Could he be looking at finding out if this guy slides at 11, do we go corner and go after Gardner?
Yeah.
And get a young guy in there that can play and shut down and provide some versatility and, just give him, who knows if the team is already soured on William Jackson III, and we don't know if they have, but is this someone that could come in and make a play for us and change the different, as we've all been going wide receiver early in offense, is this something that we're able to go defense? So that'll be interesting. That he's about the only name I got right now I'm kind of looking at. So I want to defer to you to you said you got some names. I'll do some research, but I don't have them right now.
So as far as that early pick, you really want to, for me, it's at least like, hold on, let me bring the guys up that I had. There we go. Yeah, we know about the Sauce Gardner, right? Obviously, and another guy I mentioned to you, RIP, shares the name, Kobe Bryant. Who can play corner as all safety. Look, the guy's a baller, and the fact that he also was at Cincinnati, so the fact that they went there is interesting to me. If you want to talk about somebody that's raw, I have looked this guy, Derek Stingley Jr.
Yeah,
he's raw, but at the same time, at that position at corner, we would need somebody to come. The guy out of Washington, I mentioned him the last time I was talking. Kyle Gordon scored really high in the combine. He is somebody it hasn't gotten looked at as much because he's in the Pac-12, but I think he can come in and definitely help. I want to bring in guys that are going to help us to also move along some of the guys that we have with us, with McTire and how we felt about him, with Jackson, and kind of get these guys to get that competition going and get these guys moving. And Trent McDuffie's another one out of Washington. There's 2 Washington corners that I focused on. I honestly think these guys really would benefit us, and we could potentially get somebody that might slip a little later and get somebody later in the draft. But if we get one of these, we get an opportunity to get one of these top tier guys at 11. I mean, I think that's a move we have to make.
Yeah. I think I'm with you. I want us to improve a little bit. And yeah, I mean, I don't know whether it's veteran or if it's the draft. I would just love for us to bring in another corner. I'm not satisfied. I definitely did see that stuff they're talking about Stingley, falling to 11. One thing they mentioned was, can he translate in as a not as a cover corner, as a zone corner in the way, or were we running into another William Jackson, the third? But at the same time, then it's like, well, if you've got 2 corners who are good at man coverage, maybe we need to change our style then, Jack Del Rio. Let's play to our strengths, not you play my way.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
The best coaches are able to use who they have and work around that.
Right. What is you and Ab, what is your favorite line about competition? Iron sharpens iron.
Oh, absolutely.
Stingley went up against Jamar Chase every single day at LSU. Like, you got a guy who's tested. So that's the only thing where it's kind of like, all right, well, there's some intrigue there. Well, by all means.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Absolutely. So, hey, this is the spot that I definitely want to, definitely circle on the board and say, hey, let's put some focus on. I'm glad they're talking to some of these guys. Where do we look on that list? We're talking about no corners. We're talking about the safety. We'll see that in a minute. But but definitely it's interesting. Glad he went to that. Cincinnati has definitely got a great secondary his last couple of years. So that's definitely something I'm interested in.
I love the Ab. I think it's Ab posted inside linebackers that are still available in free agency. And there are some names there that if they've been talking to guys to say, hey, man, after the draft, we'd like to look into, I'm all for that. And being able to not utilize our draft pick on a middle linebacker to go after one of those guys, man, I'm all in. I'm totally for that, including John Bostic. I would absolutely entertain bringing him back.
Right.
Maybe not as just to be our starter. I don't know, but I would certainly bring him back.
I would bring these other guys in.
Quan Alexander. That's the guy I said early on was paying big money.
Look, we talked about Vinoy. You talked about Schubert too. Quan Alexander, Hitchens. These are absolutely thanks for that, Ab. These are absolutely guys that can come in and definitely instill some senior leadership to the team and definitely can help. And they can play good ball as well. You know what I mean? So yeah, I agree. If we could do that, that's the best case scenario, in my opinion. But let's move on to the last group on this list that we need to focus on. This is something that another thing I think we need to put a lot of attention on: safety. Will, there's a lot of big names in here. Where would you go first? And would you go at 11? for this.
Wouldn't go at 11, but I'm absolutely a round 2. If we trade back in round 1 and we got a 3rd round pick, round 3, like I want this to be focused on early, because I think that, I mean, it's just, this is the way the game's going, where safety is becoming an even bigger priority. And is it possible to draft a safety instead of an inside linebacker to play that role of Buffalo nickel like we were doing with Landon Collins? So yeah, I'm all in. This is one of my priority positions that I would like to see us improve. I love that dude out of Penn State. Love my boy out of Maryland, Nick Cross. You knew it was coming.
Come on now.
There's also, I heard about a dude out of Baylor. I think the last name is Peter. I might be butchering it.
Jalen Petrie.
Yeah, him. Yeah. So I'd be, I think he has the ability to play either position. So I'm intrigued by safety, and I would love for us to address this and improve. Absolutely.
All right. Definitely. And Dax Hill out of Michigan, he was the one that came and visited with us. He was pretty solid this year. Lewis Sign out of Georgia. They didn't get tested as much because that front 7 was pretty nasty.
Yeah.
They didn't really get tested until Alabama came into town, but they definitely do. He said Colin could possibly join Dirty Bird podcast. Hey, do your thing, man. Set it up. Let's get it. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, Kyle Hamilton, he's probably going to be off the board unless we win at 11. He may fall to 11, but I don't think so. I mean, a lot of people have been looking at him. Definitely like Brisker and Nick Cross. And shout out to, I don't know if you saw Colin, Dylan's brother, said the same thing. He said Pittsburgh, man. He said, I really want Nick Cross, man, out of Maryland. I like that guy. I was like, oh my goodness.
Colin's got an eye for talent,
I was like, what is this, man? Are y'all paid off? Is he going around paying y'all to say?
I'm telling you, 3 years ago, I said, what the heck is this guy doing signing with Maryland? All right, I'll take him.
Yeah. Right. It's like, it's good. We got him. Yeah. So honestly, this is somewhere I think we need to focus on in the first 2. Look, here he is right here. I said, hey, love the take so far. I heard Baylor mentioned, and I just want to say players for Baylor always pan out, especially when they come here and play. I know you're not talking about what you're talking about on the show.
What's he trying to say?
He's trying to come after RG3 again. He did it on the show. You know what? Out of the comments, buddy. Petrie is more of a box safety to me. I wouldn't waste a second. Interesting.
I read the opposite, that he was a little more flexible, but yeah, who knows?
We shall see.
All I can tell you is I don't have nearly as much faith in Bobby McCain as they do, but they're the coaches.
Yeah. And I was saying free safety's focus should be Matthew. It should be considered a free agent pick, especially as the last after the draft. Well, the price might go down.
Yeah. Do we really think that he wants to come to DC? I mean, I know he needs to play somewhere, but does he really going to come to DC?
That's somebody that if it gets to July and August and he's still unsigned, then it's like, go pay for it. I'll take a 1-year deal with incentives, of course. Hell, absolutely.
No, you need to tell Colin, you guys need to come up to number 11. This is what I don't care who you want to draft it. I don't care who you drafted at 11, I should say. But come on up to 11 and get yourself.
Go ahead and trade.
Get yourself a tackle. Get yourself a quarterback. Give yourself the flexibility. That's what you all need to do.
Come on. Just come on and do it. Come on.
Trade up.
He said expectations go down every day you aren't signed. Yep. Very true. And if he gets that far, if he gets towards training camp and he still hasn't been signed, yes, we can definitely get him. Hey, let's see. We'll see. But again, it is about wanting to be there, because we also could have got Earl Thomas, but not sure if some of the people want to be in Washington. Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the draft is 2 weeks away. Stay tuned next week. We are going to break it down. I mean, we might as well just do a draft show, breaking down the picks, where we're going, who we expect, maybe even give us kind of like a full draft perspective, where we go, what picks we get in all the draft. I am excited for it. Johnny Dean on here. What's up, guys? What's up, Johnny? How you doing? He said, y'all talking special teams? I mean, we signed our kicker. We got Cheeseman. You know, I think we're good. So yeah, we are definitely going to be doing that and bringing you our picks where we feel like we should go in the draft. I'm excited about that because, you know, we can talk about it and talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. But at the end of the day, they might go completely far left from where we even thought. Let's remember Dan Snyder is still in charge of this team.
Yep.
He can come off his yacht at any time and make a pick. So let's be very honest with that. But we thank you guys for being with us on this day, and we thank you for joining us on Washington Football Weekly. He said there's a kicker that's legit, bro. Oh, I believe it.
More legit than Joey Slye? Is that possible?
Is there a guy that's better than Joey Slye?
I don't know.
Is there a guy that's better than Joey Slye? Is it? Shut your mouth. So we gotta go ahead and get. He said, punting ball 70 yards type stuff. Okay. Oh
Jeez.
wow. Oh well, let me find
man.
out.
Don't be trying to draft Tressway's replacement. He's our only
Come
Pro
on.
Bowler.
Come on.
Sleep at night cause I'm thinking about the next day. Thinking like, can it be the best day? She looking like she like the way I dress, I be kicking it like my name is Tressway.
Oh, when you in a rap song, let's go. You the best. Let's get it. We are with it. Hey, so glad you're here with us, which is Washington Football Weekly. One more thing we want to tell you before you go this Sunday, Easter. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Easter, the day that our Lord and Savior raised up, or whatever you celebrate, however you do it. We will be at church on Easter. We're actually visiting her parents in West Virginia, my parents on Sunday, and I'll be working a little bit in the meantime. Definitely go and celebrate any way that you do. Are you guys going to do a little Easter egg hunt, or what do you guys get the boys?
Well, Patrick did get a chance to do a little Easter egg hunt today, or little things at his school. We're going to have one in the yard. Okay. But yeah, we're going to try and keep a little low-key Easter this year. We're still with Connor, with both of our kids not eligible for a vaccine. We're kind of still hanging back a little bit.
I got you.
Yeah, but so it'll be a little low-key Easter, but we are looking forward to it. Spending, slowing down, spending time with family is what that is all about. Oh,
I can dig it. I like that. Yeah, buddy. What did he say? He said Matt Arazia, he kicks and punts diverse.
One position. I've been waiting for this to happen. We need these hybrid guys. Spend that positions elsewhere.
Right.
That'd be awesome.
Oh, I like him. I'm gonna go look him up after the show.
Yeah,
let's get it. So hey, thank you guys for joining us, and we are going to go out the way we know, the best way we know how. Got to shout out to fam, Mr. Moral Support, and he is coming to a house near you. He's a handyman, ladies and gentlemen. Check him out. Hey, see you next time. Peace, people.
Hey there, ladies and gents. It's your local handyman, Anton Benton, here to help you with your problems. I'm here right now on the job site, taking out whole kitchen cabinets. A little bit more work to do, but if you got a project at your house that you need to get completed, I'm your guy to finish it up for you. Give me a call, let me know what you need to get done.
Your new company, man. Shout out to your new company. Go ahead and tell the world about your new company real quick.
Oh boy. So marketing, Anton Benton Pros.
Yes.
Doing everything from plumbing to electrical to making huge decks to doing closets.
Yes.
Doing it all.
That's what's up, man. I'm super happy
Thank
for
you guys. Thank you.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I am Janae Strother.
I'm Sean Spencer.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta go out and hold up.
Come on. The line.
The line. Let's go. this. All right. I am Janae Struthers.
I am Sean Spencer.
And this